with respect to the commitments that we made to the people of Kenya, the implementation of the programs that we put in place to actualize our commitments, what the situation was, where we are today, and what we need to do in the remaining part of our term. So let me begin by saying that we've had a good engagement looking at the overwhelming mandate that was given to us by the people of Kenya. We did discuss this morning whether we overpromised, and it was very clear to us that we did not, that Kenya needed transformation. It needed something out of the ordinary. And that is what we have on offer from this administration. And let me just give you maybe 7 areas that are of concern and that are of priority and that have occupied the most part of this administration's push for transformation in Kenya. We are very well aware that transformation is not easy. It never was, and we never expected it to be easy. But transforming Kenya, we must. I will speak to 7 subjects that has been the subject of conversation in this gathering and the priority areas of this administration. Number 1 is the economy. We have assessed where we were in 2022. And we had a situation emerging from the shutdown of the economy as a result of COVID-19, a devastating drought followed by floods that had made the cost of living rise very high. Prices of unga were 240. We had 7 million Kenyans in the CRB. Our inflation was at 9.6%. Our exchange rate skyrocketed to about 165 shillings to the dollar. Our foreign exchange earnings went to a low of $6.5 billion, only 3 months of import cover. We had difficulties with supply of our fuel requirements, and our CBR was all the way to almost 14%, and treasury bills were trading at around 16%, and things were difficult. And we had to respond. We did commit that we would get the 7 million Kenyans that were in CRBs out, and we did. We did also commit that we would deal with the challenge of food supply, and we did. The situation today, I have told you what the situation was. The situation today, because of the interventions that we have carried out, is that inflation is down from 9.6 to 3.8. Our currency exchange is down from the high of 165 to 129 shillings to the dollar for the last 14 months. Our foreign exchange reserves which were at 6.5, the low of $6.5 billion, an import cover of just 3 months, is now up to $10.9 billion, an import cover of close to 5 months. Treasury bills today trade from a high of 16. Now Treasury bills are trading at 8.5%. And also our CBR, as I told you, by the central bank, has come down from a high of almost 14%. Just a few, I think last week or the week before, central bank announced a new central bank rate of 9.75%, down from what it was before. As a result, our economy has improved from being the 8th largest economy in Africa to being the 6th largest economy in Africa. When we told the country that we were going to stabilize the economy, we meant it, and by God's grace, the economy today is different from what it was then. But we also have discussed about what about the future? What happens from here? And it is our intention to continue to expand our interventions on managing expenditure and increasing our revenues. It is our intention, and the targets we have for the future is that we want to move our revenues as a percentage of GDP from 15, 16, 17%. We want to see whether we can take it to 19, 20%. That is our looking forward. We're also looking forward to ensuring that we maintain our foreign exchange reserves by supporting more exports of goods, of services, so that we can grow our balance of payment numbers. That is on the economy. Number two, on agriculture, we did commit to the country that we were going to undertake robust, far-reaching reforms in the agricultural sector. And as I have said, you know very well that we had an untenable situation where the cost of living was very high. The largest contributor, as you all know, to inflation and the cost of living is the cost of food. And it wasn't going to be possible to deal with the challenge of cost of living or cost of food without significantly transforming agriculture. So what did we do to deal with that situation that we had where agriculture was not supplying enough food? We had challenges of policies in that space. We had fraud on fertilizer and all the other interventions that were going on. And we had challenges of farmers getting adequate prices or the correct prices for their produce. So as an administration, we took 5 steps to transform the agricultural sector. Number one, we changed from subsidizing consumption and instead went to support production. That is why instead of subsidizing unga, we decided to subsidize fertilizer, because it makes the whole difference. We took the next step to get the correct data, because the agricultural space didn't have any accurate data on any matter. So we undertook a robust process of collecting data on the agricultural sector, and thankfully we now have a database of 6.6 million farmers, complete with the crops they plant, the acreage of their land, and all other details that are required, including their details. The third issue is, apart from collecting data, we digitized the whole agricultural value chain to assist us eliminate fraud and corruption and theft that was prevalent, so that it undermined corruption, theft, and fraud, undermined delivery of government programs, even the subsidy program, even the fertilizer program. And as a result of the interventions that we have carried out in the agricultural sector, as per the commitment we made to the people of Kenya, we have, before I go there, I said the interventions we have carried out. The other intervention we carried out is to reform the coffee sector. The coffee sector had been taken advantage and actually taken hostage by cartels and interests. And it wasn't possible to sell your coffee where you wanted, because there was an incestuous relationship between brokers, millers, the people buying at the coffee exchange, that undermined the capacity of farmers to decide on their farming practice, because certain groups of individuals had monopolized that sector. One person had a license as a farmer. They were also millers, they were also brokers, and they were also the people who bought coffee at the coffee exchange. We have since dismantled those cartels, and we have changed the delivery model in the coffee value chain. We have also undertaken far-reaching reforms in the agricultural sector, in the sugar sector. As we all know, Kenya always, since I was Minister for Agriculture, we always went to seek for some commercial safeguards, because we were perennial importers for 30 years of sugar. And it was necessary to reform the sugar sector. This is a commitment we made. It is in our manifesto. And we had to take the business interests who had taken hostage the sugar sector head on. At some point, I had to tell them mambo ni matatu. It was not a threat. It was just an exercise in the course of reforming the sugar sector. We have since reformed the sugar sector. We have brought in the private sector to work with us, and we have stopped the tradition that existed for 20 years, where government always came in to pay farmers for sugarcane that was never supplied to government, or to pay workers that did not work for government.